what is a NoSQL database? And what are the pros and cons of it over a relational database like a MySQL or Postgres?
The NoSQL database movement of the late 2000s, early 2010s was really a sort of wholesale rejection to traditional relational database management systems. And the categorization is not a sort of formal designation. It just loosely meant a bunch of database systems that were new at the time that eschewed SQL or eschewed the relational model, and a bunch of other protection mechanisms like transactions and using joins, supporting joins, that again these sort of legacy relational database systems supported. And so people made this trade-off where they'd rather have availability and performance over safety guarantees or integrity guarantees of your database. And so over time, though, all the people that were promoting NoSQL systems and championing them, they then realized that a lot of the things that they had thrown overboard with relational databases were a good idea. These people, for relational databases, these things are old systems, but a lot of the core ideas and principles from the 1970s still matter today in modern applications. So since over time, these NoSQL systems have all sort of gone back on their original rejection of the SQL and relational model, and transactions have added all these things since then. So the systems like Mongo, Cassandra, Redis is an outlier, but these systems are basically all added SQL now, and all added something that looks like relational databases, and in some cases they've also added transactions. So the intellectual distance between a relational database system and a NoSQL system has shrunk quite a bit, and you can more or less say that NoSQL systems are relational-like, and therefore it just goes to show that the original ideas of relational databases from the 1970s were correct.
So, I mean, would there be, obviously it's your own opinion, but would there be any situation where you would use NoSQL over a relational database if essentially they're just trying to bake relational-like functionality in the NoSQL now?
Yeah, so I would say the main thing I would say that the NoSQL systems would get correct was, in some cases you don't actually need strong transactional support, strong consistency support for some applications. It's basically to say, like, for some data, it's okay to have incorrect results or inconsistent results, right? You surely wouldn't use that for a banking application, but think of like anything to do with like sessions and things like that. It's okay to maybe have inconsistent data, because in the end of the day, the user will update things and correct things, and it'll get taken care of. So yeah, so certainly on some applications where performance matters more than data integrity, then I think that's okay. But I think the default choice for most application developers today should be a relational database system, and rather than trying to program around the lack of these guarantees that the NoSQL systems provide.